Hello and welcome to this evening's program. Earlier today, a dumpster in Nigeria caught fire. We are now heading over there for some information from our reporter at the scene.
Hello, I'm right now standing here a few kilometers from the fire and you can really feel the smoke in the air. So, we already know that burning things in large quantities inside the atmosphere leads to very high amounts of carbon dioxide emissions. This is bad, obviously, because global warming gets strongly enforced by this carbon dioxide. We also know that in this case, in Nigeria, when these computer parts, for example, get burned, they release a lot of sulfuric acid compounds and nitrogen oxides, which when they get released into the air, it turns the air more acidic, and this causes the pH levels to drop immensely.
Joining us now in the studio is expert Baran Isak. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, the fact that we should separate our waste before throwing it away is well known, but where does the waste go once we get rid of it?
Well, instead of recycling, most of these compounds used in the electronic devices just simply get thrown away. People don't really care. Most people find it easier and, well, faster to simply buy new technology with just minor changes. But this leads to a huge amount of consumption by the population. Crime gangs, for example, they make a lot of money smuggling these environment-damaging waste products, which just end up building huge dumps of ruined electronics in Africa, such as the one in Nigeria.
How does that affect nature?
Well, first and foremost, burning things in large quantities inside the atmosphere of the Earth is never really a good idea, because it leads to a larger amount of CO2 in the atmosphere. This leads to global warming through the sun's radiation on Earth.
But Isaac, why do we even let this happen? Why do we consume so much?
It has a lot to do with psychology. It doesn't only have to do with the satisfaction you get from the product, but it's also about the status you get from certain things. Many people purchase expensive products to, let's say, create their own style or identity.
Thank you both for being here. I will now head over for an interview with our correspondent.
I am here with Professor and expert Bertil Armfelt, who is from the School of Natural Science. I'm also here with Ursula Grön Blixt, who is an expert in the field of human consumption and its impact on our nature. Why is our consumption a problem?
Gives different kinds of gods, you need resources, natural resources. And if our generation use too much, the next generation on Earth will have a harder time because we will have extended the Earth's carrying capacity. Also, a lot of the products contains chemicals which, besides the fact that there is one reason for allergy and therefore has an impact on our health, affects the nature. They are dangerous for living organisms and it spreads throughout the food chain, and it can also make animals unable to reproduce, which also affects the ecosystem. More than that, electronic devices and industries need electricity. One of the most common ways to produce electricity is nuclear power station, and they let down warm water, which affects the life in the sea. Wind turbine changes the landscape and they will kill birds every year, which influence the balance between animal species and therefore rubs the entire ecosystem. Also, power station lets out CO2 and non-other friendly particles such as sulfur into the air. It also leads to water shortage.
Why does consumption lead to water shortage?
Well, first of all, a lot of water is used when producing, for example, meat, vegetables and fruit. And this leads to water shortage in countries where it's already a significant problem. When clothes are being produced, a lot of water is used to sprinkle the cotton plants. And that's why clothes are one of the big causes of water shortage. And as it so happens, this problem is most frequent in tropical regions.
We need to start buy things second-hand, repair things instead of throwing them away, and invest in quality instead of quantity. This way we will lessen our consumption. Another good tip is to buy environmental label goods. This way we won't release as many climate gases into the air, and our use of resources, fossil fuels, chemicals and water will lessen. The individual need to lessen its consumption. If the demands for the product lessens, the companies won't make as many copies. That was all for today. Thank you and good night.